Is it working? Is it on? Is it on? Oh, it's on. It's on. Hi guys. I apologise for the mess behind me. My living situation is a bit chaotic at the moment. I'm preparing for the month of August. I've got friends visiting me, and there's a lot up in the air at the moment. So it's all a bit chaotic, which I'm not used to. I don't like chaos because I can't really be creative when there's too much chaos, and when I can't plan for several months ahead. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means I have to be more patient with the writing process, and I have to just realise that perhaps I will not be as productive in the next month or two as I'd like to be. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Anyway, I thought today I would talk about what is inspiring me at the moment, what I'm taking comfort in, what is giving me a bit of zest for life. I've been watching quite a lot of Disney at the moment. There is a thunderstorm brewing outside. Yeah. I've been watching quite a lot of Disney at the moment, Disney programs. So I got to watch Only Murders in the Building. I'm a big fan of Steve Martin and Martin Short. And then I just love the series. It's so brilliant and it's so funny, and they're just funny, silly characters. But as soon as Only Murders in the Building stopped, a suggestion popped up. Now, this suggestion wasn't anything I was expecting or I'd heard about. It just popped up, and it was for a series called Will Trent. And I wasn't going to watch it at first because I thought, oh god, Will Trent is going to be boring. It's going to be very, very, just boring. And just this normal stuff coming out of the US. But then, luckily, I clicked on the first series, on the very first one. And it was the first few minutes of it with him and this dog, and he's trying to surrender a dog to a shelter. And I was hooked from the very beginning. And I'm so glad I watched it. And Guinness, have you got fleas? No? Okay. And I'm so glad I watched it because it just showed me that creativity is really still alive. And I mean, obviously the series, it was adapted from a book series by an author called Karen Slaughter, but I think the author actually had a very big hand. I think she was part of the production team on the series, and it's so good. I love the color scheme, the actors, I love the characters. And there are one or two characters I find a bit, I want to just repeatedly punch them in the face because they are a bit, annoying. But it's such a brilliant series, and I'm so glad that you still have series like these that sort of sneak out at you, and they are such a pleasant surprise. And it's a mix of very diverse characters, and they're all so fascinating, so interesting, funny, and it's just brilliant. So I've watched the first 2 seasons. I kind of binge watched them, and I'm looking forward to the third. I think there's going to be a third. The third I haven't watched yet. The fourth is going to come out soon, but it will take a while. And it's just interesting to me how a lot of these series are getting a lot their inspiration from books and the book world, from writers and authors. And this is why I always say to people, if you ever have any ideas, anything, just get it down on paper. Get it down, because you never know who that book is going to inspire. And even if people don't get to read that book, it could be adapted into something much, that would reach a wider audience. Because I'd never heard of this author before I watch a series. I never heard of her or any of her books, but the series is so fascinating that it compelled me to go and take a look at her books and everything else. So yeah, she's an American crime writer, and she has so many books to her name. So, you know, and I believe she's like 54 years old now. And it just shows you that, you know, just keep going, because you never know when you're going to get adapted, I think. Anyway, the point is, I love the series. I'm so obsessed with it. I'm so obsessed with the characters. I'm so obsessed with how they're written. And I would advise you to go check it out. And I would advise you to, whatever you're working on, no matter how disillusioned you become, or no matter how, what's the word, you know, silly you think it might be, just write it, because you never know who's going to read it. You never know who it's going to inspire. And you never know what effect it's going to have on people's lives. Because when I watched Will Trent, I was going through quite a tough time. I have so many friends who've left the city, and, you know, it's very good friends I've made here, and they've chosen to move. And it was tough for me, you know. So it was just good to escape, have several hours of escape over several days, and just be in someone else's world. Bad bitch Betty. Okay, I'm trying to tidy up today, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see my desk. Oh yeah, it's still trying to track my face. My desk is in a state. There's just stuff everywhere. Nothing makes any sense anymore. Nothing makes any sense anymore. And I'm just trying to tidy up gradually as I go along, because because I haven't done anything productive, and I've been away for so long, everything's just kind of fallen apart. I'm still working on lots of characters, which I'm finding very, very fun to do, and I'm creating lots of character inspiration. Like, I want to see what my characters look like, you know, so I can use them for the videos and for the character descriptions as well, because I think sometimes just describing what a character looks like in a video, especially in a Write With Me or a reading session, is not always that easy. So sometimes I like a nice image to accompany it. Oh dear. So some of my journals are back home in my home country in Nigeria, and I've got some journals here as well. And I'm just trying to figure out if I need any more journals, because I was going to go journal shopping and buy more journals, but I don't know if I'm being greedy or not. But these are just from the website Temu. That's a Temu purchase as well. And I've got all my other journals. I'll show you again, because I like showing them off. These are just a couple, which are from a local shop here, and they're so well made. I was speaking to a friend about them, and he was not surprised to realize that I bought so many of them, but I hadn't actually used them. He was not surprised at all, because he understands the not wanting to ruin the journal effect, you know, how silly and, you know, we all get about it. So I don't know what to do, because I have to break these in eventually, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to break through the curse and just open them up and just write in them. I just don't know how to do it, because I feel like no matter what I write, it's just going to ruin the books, the journals. I just don't know what to do. I'm stuck. It's pathetic. I'm like collecting lots of journals, and I want to buy more, because I think it's good to support local businesses. So I've got all these journals. I've got some more that are not here. I've got all these journals, and I don't know how to use them, because what do I write in them? What could I ever write that would ever... It would have to be something that would go on for like centuries. That's very big-headed, but you know, what could you possibly write in these? And if you do use journals, what do you use journals for? Because I used to have a diary when I was younger. I don't do diaries anymore because my cousins kept stealing them and reading them, or finding them and reading them and putting them back. So I don't do trauma. I don't do diaries anymore. What could I use these for? I don't know. I don't like writing stories in them, because a lot of my stories I tend to write on loose paper, and I like to put them along the walls. So I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. Anyway, anyone who has any ideas, please do let me know. These I use for keeping notes and just writing a list and maybe writing down inspiration. These I use more for inspiration. So I have one already that I'm using at the moment, but when I went to Nigeria I left it there, so I'll pick it up again. But this is like a sleeve for like maybe things that inspire me along the way. I pop them in there. This could be used for sketching. You know, like this is like, was it craft paper? That could be used for sketching. And you have lined paper there. So this is very good. And you have all these little, so you can use this for so many different things. But for me, I love the green. The green is very romantic, and I think, yeah, this is definitely good for writing inspiration, that sort of thing. So yes, here I am. Just writing down a quick to-do list. I also want to start using these again. I want to start using these inkwells. So I bought these about 3 or 4 years ago now, but I've never actually used them properly. So I've used that for a bit. You can see there's been ink in there, but I haven't used them properly. So the dried up ink just popped out. I've never used them properly though, but I do want to use them a lot more. But I do worry because the ink dries up very quickly. And I was thinking of maybe using a cork to plug them, but you don't really get corks that are the right size. But any ideas for keeping the ink from drying up? Unless I put the ink back in the bottle, I don't know. That's an idea, I suppose, but I do want to start using these as well because they're so sweet. And I bought these 3 in a set. Well, they weren't an original set. I just bought them because the lady selling them was selling them all together, and I just thought they looked so cute and quaint, and you know, everything's falling apart. This is still my favorite though. There's so much going on here. Why is there lipstick here? Why is there makeup on this table? Makeup does not belong here. Oh, you can tell everything's been in a upside down situation in the last few months. You can just tell. But that's fine. It's all gonna go, more makeup. It's all gonna go back to normal soon. Oh dear. And you know what? Sometimes rather than fighting the chaos or whatever, like rather than beating myself up for not meeting deadlines or being able to do anything, I just lean into it and I just allow myself that break. Because maybe it's the universe, God, whatever you believe in, maybe it's a way of giving me a break, you know, where I can just mooch around and do absolutely nothing for a while. But it's been really difficult writing here at the moment, and also there's a lot of building work going on. A lot of neighbours are having stuff done in the building. There's a lot of plumbing issues in the building as well. I think they're fixing a lot of stuff, and they're taking the summer season to fix it all. So there's all that stuff going on as well. So yeah, when you are having a creative downtime, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with the guilt of not being able to create? How do you deal with that? Because I do feel guilty sometimes, and I feel like I'm sort of not keeping my end of the bargain up by doing as much writing as I should. But at the same time, I do also know that it's really hard to undergo lots of life changes and keep writing at the same time because you're so exhausted from that. I'm also still teaching part-time at the school. My hours are very severely reduced because it's a summer break, but I am still teaching because I do like teaching, and it gets me out of my flat, and teaching is the only interaction I have with other human beings. So I like doing it because it gets me out of my flat and I can interact with people, and I can get a well-needed break as well, like a psychological break, I believe. But I do know that when September comes around, I'm going to be busy again, and I'm going to be really stuck into my work. So I don't feel too bad because I know that the work here is going to continue up until the end of August, I believe. So I think from September, I'll have a lot more leeway in terms of being able to write and write more freely and write with less noise and less interruptions as well. So yeah. Until next time.